beloved soul, since last night, I have been trying to get your attention by calling and reaching out in every way I can, but you have not been listening. This is my last chance to speak before the storm hits, and I am doing so out of love, rather than anger or frustration, because I see what lies ahead and I want to protect you from it. You may not realize it yet that you are standing on a precipice, and I can see the spiritual distance between us widening, and I am attempting to draw you back. You once sought me when your heart was open and you walked in the light of my word. But now the light has dimmed in your life, and I see the consequences that are starting to unfold because you have chosen distractions over devotion, noise, and the world's promises over my eternal peace. Do not ignore my voice any longer. Your soul, which was once so vibrant and in tune with my presence, has drifted. I feel the separation that is growing every day as you move further away from the truth I have shared with you. Without my guidance, you are lost and the darkness is rising, and you might not even be aware that you cannot achieve true calm. The foundation that supports you is being torn away from your soul. The world is full of distractions, loud temptations, and promises of fulfillment in things that will only leave you empty. But I tell you now that this world is not your home, and that the distractions you cling to are only temporary. You are walking in a fog of confusion, and I have been trying to clear your path to remove the cloud of uncertainty. But you haven't opened your heart to hear me. I offer you something eternal, a tranquility that is beyond comprehension, and a life rooted in my love. But you chose the transient comforts of this world, and as a result, you lose sight of who you are, and, worse, of me. You have allowed bitterness, hatred, fear, and doubt to take root where my love should be. And I can see how your heart to take root where my love should be. And I can see how your heart has grown cold. You've strayed from the secure haven of my presence, and I fear you are now vulnerable. You believe you are strong enough to face the world alone, but I can see the threats that await. I see the enemy taking advantage of every chance to divert you from the truth. You are being guided into a dangerous situation where the darkness is rampant, and you can only be protected by my light. It is not a place where I live. Rather, it is a place where the enemy moves in an attempt to destroy your peace, your purpose, and your soul. You have allowed yourself to be surrounded by people who do not know me and who do not follow my ways. Their words are lies, and their actions are full of deceit. You have been duped. You may not even be aware of the danger you are in, but I can see it clearly. The very people you trust and the very environments you surround yourself with are toxic and working against your peace, your growth, and your relationship with me. I have a relationship with me. Called you out of darkness into my marvelous light, but you choose to stay in the shadows, surrounded by people and places that pull you further into the abyss. Do not disregard my warning. The more you remain here, the more you will stray from reality, and the more you will be wise. The more you believe lies, the more you will be tricked by the darkness. You may feel safe right now, but don't be misled. The adversary is patient and will wait until you are completely caught up in the web of lies before you even know it. You have allowed it to gradually destroy your tranquility, joy, and very essence. The time has come for you to leave. The surroundings you are in are not mine. They are a place of confusion, deception, and spiritual rot, and those around you do not care about your well-being. You may feel safe right now, but don't be misled. The adversary is patient and will wait until you are completely caught up in the web of lies before you even know it. You have allowed it to gradually destroy your tranquility, joy, and very essence. Now is the time for you to leave. The surroundings you are in are not mine. Rather, they are a location of bewilderment, lies, and spiritual death for those around you. Do not have your best interests in mind. They are guiding you away from my truth and will keep you on the wrong path until you decide to leave, to stand firmly in my light, and to refuse to join the darkness. I understand that this may be difficult for you since you have developed bonds and allowed yourself to think that those around you genuinely care about you. But in reality, they are destroying you. You must remove the connections that bind you to places and people that are spiritually dangerous in order to physically and spiritually distance yourself from this environment. I am not asking you to make this decision lightly. I know it is difficult and that your heart has become entangled in the webs of these relationships and places. But I ask you now, how much do you value your peace? How much do you value your relationship with me? This is not just a physical move, it is a spiritual one. It is a decision to return to my presence and put yourself back under my protection. You must decide to surround yourself with people who will bring you closer to me rather than farther away. The enemy is present in your ideas, uncertainties, and anxieties, in addition to actual persons or locations. He has whispered falsehoods into your ear, claiming that you are unworthy, alone, and incapable of changing. I tell you that these are lies, and you should not believe them, because you are my cherished child, and I will always be by your side. I will always be there for you, but you have to make the decision to walk in the light, to turn away from the lies, to seek the truth. You are in a dangerous place, both spiritually and emotionally. It may seem harmless, but the longer you stay here, the more darkness will take hold. You cannot stay here and expect to grow in me, or stay surrounded by lies and expect to find peace. I am calling you to leave the safety of the familiar and trust in my guidance. It's time to make the difficult decision. It's time to leave the toxic influences and broken promises behind and escape the environment that is choking your spirituality. Although you may not be able to see it right now, I am watching over you and guiding you even when you cannot feel my presence. I am waiting for you to come back, and I am prepared to welcome you back into my arms. However, it is up to you to decide to leave the darkness and enter my light. I'm here to watch over you. I know it's tough and you're exhausted, but don't give up. The safe place is with me in my love. I'll protect you and guide you to a place of peace, but you have to decide to come back to me. You have to decide to leave the people and places that are dragging you away from my truth. This is the last time I'll talk to you before the storm arrives. I love you and I long for you to be safe in my presence. Please don't wait any longer. Turn back to me, and I will lead you to the safe place, the place of peace, the place where you belong. The choice is yours, but I am always waiting and loving you, dear soul. If you choose to ignore this call and keep going down this path, the consequences of your decisions are real and will materialize if you disregard my warning. Though I have been here waiting for you to listen, there are times when the world becomes too noisy for you to hear my voice calling. The world is full of distractions, choices, and voices vying for your attention. I have witnessed your struggles and understand the weight of your heart. You find yourself at a crossroads in life, standing before decisions that seem too difficult to navigate. However, there is only one voice that can guide you to serenity, clarity, and the correct path, the voice of the Lord. There are moments in life when it seems impossible to move on, and you might feel overwhelmed by the magnitude of the choices you must make. You might question whether you are walking alone, whether the decisions you make are the right ones, or even whether you are capable of making the right ones. However, I assure you, my child, that in those times of uncertainty, you need to listen to my voice more than ever before. I have spoken to you repeatedly through my word, the whispers of my spirit, and your life circumstances. Although you may not always hear my voice right away, and there are times when the path appears obscured by fear, doubt, or confusion, I am always close by, and I will never abandon you. My guidance may not always take the form you expect, but I will always make my presence known to you. I have given you the gift of free will, and I do not force you to listen. However, when you are unsure or the noise of the outside world becomes too loud to hear my voice clearly, I am still here guiding you and waiting for you to turn to me for direction. Although you may not always hear my voice right away, and there are times when the path appears obscured by fear, doubt, or confusion, I am always close by and I will never abandon you. My guidance may not always take the form you expect, but I will always make my presence known to you. I have given you the gift of free will, and I do not force you to listen. However, when you are unsure or the noise of the outside world becomes too loud to hear my voice clearly, I am still here guiding you and waiting for you to turn to me for direction. However, I encourage you to look for me while you're confused. I'll give you the answers you require, but you have to have faith that my methods are superior to yours, because there are times in life when my opinion must be the determining factor. I am aware that you have a lot of options, some of which are challenging or even unpleasant, but when you are at a crossroads, it is insufficient to rely just on your own knowledge or the counsel of others. Since I am the creator of all and I see the end from the beginning, my viewpoint is ideal. When you have to make a decision about your health, relationships, career, or any other aspect of your life, I encourage you to come before me in prayer and seek my will. Do not let fear or the desires of your flesh or the opinions of others take you away from your concerns. Instead, bring them to me and allow me to speak to your heart in those quiet moments of prayer. I know what is best for you, so trust me and pay close attention to what I have to say. It may not always be the loudest or most obvious, but my advice is always the right way forward. I will make my will known to you when you humble yourself before me. Sometimes my voice will be a thought, a calm in your heart, or a gentle nudge in your spirit. Other times it may be an unmistakable sign that you cannot ignore. If you are having trouble hearing me, trust in my timing, because I will make it clear when it is time for you to take action. I am aware that there are a lot of distractions in life and that sometimes it appears like I am silent. But I promise that I am always there for you when you need me with advice. I encourage you to look for a sign, just as I have given my people signs throughout history. When you sincerely seek my guidance, I will give you a sign. It might not turn out the way you had hoped, but keep in mind that I am the same God who spoke to Samuel in the temple, who provided manna in the wilderness, and who parted the Red Sea for Moses. I have always been dependable in revealing my will, and I will continue to do so for you. Let's examine a few instances from my word, where my children had to make tough choices and sought my advice. I encourage you to look for a sign, just as I have given my people signs throughout history. When you sincerely seek my guidance, I will give you a sign. It might not turn out the way you had hoped, but keep in mind that I am the same God who spoke to Samuel in the temple, who provided manna in the wilderness, and who parted the Red Sea for Moses. I have always been dependable in revealing my will, and I will continue to do so for you. Let's examine a few instances from my word where my children had to make tough choices and sought my advice. In 1 Kings 19, Elijah, my faithful prophet, was sent to confront the people of Israel, who had turned their backs on me and were worshiping false gods. Elijah was running for his life, afraid for his safety, and he ended up in a cave. He was tired and disheartened, but I told him to go to the mountain because I was going to pass by. Elijah saw a great wind, an earthquake, and a fire, but my voice was not in any of these powerful displays. Rather, it was in the quiet, small voice that followed Elijah. When he did, he heard my voice. It was a faint whisper, but it held the weight of my presence. Keep in mind that I may speak to you in a little, quiet voice when you're feeling overpowered by life's chaos. Another example is the story of Gideon, who was called to lead Israel to victory against the Israelites, but was unsure of his calling. In Judges 630-640, he laid out a fleece and asked if it was really my will for him to lead. I am not always in the chaos. I am frequently found in the quiet, in the moments when you are still able to listen. When he did, he heard my voice. It was a faint whisper, but it held the weight of my presence. Keep in mind that I may speak to you in a little quiet voice when you are feeling overpowered by life's chaos. Another example is the story of Gideon, who was called to lead Israel to victory against the Israelites, but was unsure of his calling. In Judges 630-640, he laid out a fleece and asked if it was really my will for him to lead. I am not always in the chaos. I am frequently found in the quiet, in the moments when you are still able to listen. I would make the fleece wet while the ground remained dry. When he asked for another sign, I gave it to him, and through these signs I reassured him that I would guide him and provide the signs he needed to proceed. The Bible is full of instances of my children asking for guidance, and I have always been dependable in providing it. You are no different. Just as I led them, I will lead you, but keep in mind that my guidance is frequently not immediate. It calls for trust and patience. I might not respond to you right away, but I will at the ideal moment. It is your responsibility to seek me out with an open heart and be willing to follow my guidance. If it gets hard to hear my voice, don't give up. There are still ways to discern my will. One of the most effective ways is to ask wise, godly people who know my word for advice. I have put these people in your life for a reason, and their wisdom can often give you clarity when you are unsure. However, keep in mind that you must always check everything against my word, because it is the highest standard and will never mislead you. Another way to determine my will is to look at the circumstances surrounding you. I work in ways that are sometimes incomprehensible to you, but when you ask for my advice, I will frequently arrange things so that my will is evident. Pay attention to the doors that open, the opportunities that present themselves, and the challenges that arise. These are not coincidences. Rather, they are my method of guiding you to have faith that I am working behind the scenes, planning the events of your life to occasionally get you where you need to be. On the other hand, if you feel a sense of unease or discomfort that you cannot explain, it may indicate that you are not in alignment with my will. Trust that I am speaking to you through these internal nudges. I understand that making decisions can be overwhelming, and I do not take that lightly, but I am here to help. You will experience a sense of peace in your spirit even in the midst of uncertainty. This peace is the confirmation of my presence, and a sign that you are walking in my will. As your shepherd, I will guide you alongside still waters. Don't allow fear or uncertainty stop you. Instead, have faith in my wisdom and follow the instructions I've given you. Even if the road ahead seems unclear, never forget that I am always by your side. I am your haven and your pillar of support when things get tough, so you don't have to go alone. Seek me out, pay attention to what I have to say, and have faith in my time. I will never lead you astray since my methods are superior than yours. There's no decision too big or too small for me to lead you through. I will always speak and show you how I love you, and I will never leave you in my love, your God. My love for you is eternal. If you can't hear me clearly, look for a sign, and I'll show you that you are not alone on this journey. Trust me, because I am faithful in every decision.
Thank you so much for supporting our channel. If you agree with this video, type Amen. If you love God and you believe in Him, please share this video.